So the idea of having to independently go to Wintertodt to get 99 fire making, I would much rather do Barbarian Assault with a bronze scimitar if I can have everyone do it together with bronze scimitars. That sounds like way more fun.
Oxie wants to make an Iron Man and just get handed all of the stuff that you normally have to grind for. Like, how are you going to get all those quest items, Oxie? How are you going to do it? There's no grand exchange for you. Oh, he's pulling down his microphone. Headphone users.
How are you going to get your toxic blowpipe, Michael? How are you going to get your Barrows gear, Michael? How are you going to get literally anything that comes from a PVM boss, Michael? Your dragon pickaxe? I didn't think so. You go ahead and collect all the herbs you like.
Oxie,
everyone has a job. Everyone has a job at our group Iron Man team.
I can do PVM, Oxie. I can kill Zulrah if I really try, Oxie.
I swear to God, I have nothing I can give you, but I want to see you go do Zulrah, and I can't wait
Oxie,
to have you do Zulrah
here's,
on Iron Man gear.
Here's a gentleman's bet. A gentleman's, what do you call that? Wager. A wager, if you will.
Wager.
Here's a wager, if you will. If me, Bloodhound / Michael, on my group Iron Man account, get my own blowpipe, then you, Oxie, on your group Iron Man account, have to get 99 fire making.
All right. That sounds like a deal. That's a deal right there. If you say, Oxie, I got a Tanzanite Fang, I will stop what I'm doing and go to Wintertodt right then and there for 99 fire making.
Deal.
I swear to God. Hello, and welcome back to Xpwaste, where after 3.5 years and 160 episodes, a bet is still a bet. Hi, I'm Oxie.
And I'm Michael. If you're new around here, welcome to the show. We are Xpwaste. We're a show about old school RuneScape, and we're going to talk about old school RuneScape probably a little bit. We usually get off on tangents, so that's a pretty normal thing, you know?
Probably a lot bit. I would wager, given the point of the show, we would talk about it a lot bit, but
a lot of bit. It's a bit, you know. So we talk about old school RuneScape. We talk about, what do we talk about? Things happening in the game. We talk about the news. We talk about things we love about the game. We talk about old school RuneScape. You thought I was gonna say it. You guys saw it, so that's all that matters. But if you're not new around here, yes, based on that cold opener, damn. It is finally over. Insane.
It is, yeah. I gotta say, I'll be the first to say it. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for finally learning Zulrah. I'm very proud of you for finally dipping your toes in PVM. I think we can say now definitively that after having played the GIM for at least a couple thousand hours at this point, and having to embrace grinds that are very much not what you thought they were going to be, PVM-wise, I think it's safe to say that when we recorded that episode came out, I want to say the day Group Iron Man dropped. That episode, that was episode 32 that you just saw. That's back when we used to release episodes on Wednesdays, and that came out the day Group Iron Man dropped. I think it's safe to say that at that point, you did not know how to kill Zulrah. You knew how to click it with a T-bow, but you did not know how to kill Zulrah. You weren't ready for the gauntlet. You weren't ready for the wilderness. Granted, the wilderness was vastly different then than it was now. You weren't ready for raids. You weren't ready for a lot of the stuff that you've ended up doing, other than maybe like entry-level bosses and some Slayer grinds that you were just like, I can do this with max gear. Oh, well. Now, the turns have finally tabled. And if we search podcasters on the high scores, you have, it's been taking a million years to load, 460 Zulrah KC, in addition to a variety of other boss KCs, 203 chambers. That really stands out to me the most. You have a Raxor KC? Oh,
Just-
that's Abyssal Sire. Never mind.
No,
That's Abyssal Sire. But between that and a quest cape, 32 TOA, I'll bump that number up a little bit. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. You know, I think at this point, you are an exponentially better PVMer than you were when we first made that bet. We still got some progress to make, but that's a good thing because we have ascended far beyond what we thought possible, at least what I thought possible back then. Because I don't think you understand. I knew what Zulrah was. Even I didn't know what it was going to be like on a GIM. And having to solve the issues of the Venom and of the bad gear. Granted, like the Warp Scepter came out. The Warp Scepter is not good. The Warp Scepter is not a good weapon. It's not terrible, but it's not a good weapon, really. So congratulations to you. That cold opener, Michael did achieve his Magic Fang. So the day this episode comes out, I want to say it's the 17th of April. This episode is being recorded on the 13th of April. Michael got the blowpipe on this, I want to say April 7th on the Monday.
Yeah, let me scroll back up on the groupie chat here. Yeah, the 7th. So it's been almost a week.
I remember I had called off of work the day after we had recorded, and I was playing Pokemon Legends Arceus, enjoying my recovery day. And I just see Fear said like, "Ooh, LFG." I'm like, "Oh, what happened? What did he get?" And then Michael posted a Zulrah screenshot with a bunch of, and I just knew. I'm like, "Oh no, it's over. It's over." How does it feel to finally have it? How does it feel to get your own blowpipe?
Feels great, dude. I was reminded today, unfortunately, that like I'm not done with Zulrah like I thought I was.
You're never done with
done.
Zulrah, baby. What do you mean?
I was like, oh, I could just sit back and relax because I don't need any of the other drops. Fear got them. It's fine. You know, I've got a Serp Helm, got a Magic Fang. I've got the Tanzanite Fang now. But no, I'm not done. I'm not going to be done with Zulrah for a while because upkeep is a thing. Got to upkeep that bitch. So like, it's just going to get easier to do it now that I know like anything that I get is either going to go to a group mate or it's just going to be scales for me, you know?
Yeah.
So we're sitting pretty at Zulrah now. 460 KC for 3 drops. I don't know. That still feels like I'm dry. I think they're 1 in 128 for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, I should have
You mean
almost
you're due.
4. Well, I'm kind of, it's a 3.5. So I'm kind of due. Like I'll be due soon if I keep doing it. Because I've gotten 2 Onyxes and a Tanz Fang. 2 Onyxes, dude. I'll be happy about those later. I don't doubt that. Like getting a couple more Zenites and not having to spend egregious amounts of money on Chaos Runes to then just go buy them or buy it with Toggle. It's gonna be fine,
Yeah.
you know. Or if we want to make a regen bracelet for some reason, it's not gonna feel as bad. Or Ring of Stone,
the
dude.
Swag.
Ring of Stone is best in slot for scouting or like for being in the wilderness.
That
on your-
is true.
on an
Yeah.
alt.
Ring of Stone.
Otis says, "Is Michael the new scales printer?" I don't know. Maybe.
Have you used the blowpipe yet? Have
Yeah.
you used the new hotness at all?
Yeah, I've gotten 2 shaman tasks, and I was using it on my shaman tasks. And Fear and I went to Toa on Friday. We duoed a couple of Toas, and it was so nice to have, dude. Like, it just there's like a quality of life aspect with it because I can use it in Kefri, can shoot the little bugs, and I can use it in Akka to take down the statue guys. I don't know where else I would use it in Toa. I was using it on the obelisk, I think, too.
Yeah.
So-
It's good on the obelisk if you don't have anything else.
All around, great. Tiki says, "You're not 3 dry. Onyx is one of the 128." Yeah. So I have 3 drops in 460. I should be getting a 4th drop soon, based on the math. But anyway, it feels great. I went and bought the. I was going to surprise you actually, but I'll tell you now. I went and bought the. It's called a blazing blowpipe. The what ornament kit was this from?
Trailblazer.
Oh, was it
League 4.
Trailblazer? Yeah, it looks good. It looks really good. The examine text on it says a toxic blowpipe that fires darts coated with venom and fire. That's hilarious. I didn't. That's great, bro. It feels good though. I think out of all of the items that I've wanted on this account, that has been the top. Like having a Bofa will feel great. If I ever get spooned a mega rare, that'll feel great. Like having current best in slots will feel good. Just knowing this like bet was looming over my head and your head as well, looming over our heads for the last 3 years, and it's finally done. And we can try and do something else. We can have another bet. That'll be fun to like think up. Like not obviously aren't gonna like force it, but just something different.
I mean,
so I'm sure you're
I have
itching.
one in mind. I have one in mind, but I don't think I have a reciprocation for you that makes sense.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
think I have anything that I would give you because what do I think you need to get next?
My own Bofa.
I think you need to get your own goddamn Bofa. But I don't have anything that I could reciprocate that is feasible because what I don't want to have happen is like, oh, Oxie's got to get 99 mining. And then, okay, cool. I'm at 78. Guess I will just never do anything else on the GIM again. And I go for 99 mining. And in the time I go for 99 mining, Fear gets another enhanced. And then you're just using a Bofa for like 2 years. And then suddenly I get 99 mining because you never have to go back to Gauntlet, right? And then I'm like, by the way, uncorrupt your Bofa and give it back and go get your own. Like, I suppose that is a forfeit, but I don't think it's a very fun forfeit because I think somebody said it was in VC earlier. I think it was Fear who was like, dude, you know how horrible it's going to be to drop everything and get 99 mining? Like it's going to be pretty terrible to drop everything and get 99 mining if you crack off like a last second 3-ball, 12 KC Bofa, and then it's just like, guess I just don't get to enjoy the group Iron Man account in 2025. Like, that's cool. So, because I can't even think of anything that, like, if you guys go back and watch that episode, this is a point I'll talk about a little bit later, because listening to us talk about our current goals at the time, very different. But it's a different landscape back then. But we'll get to that. If you go back and listen to that episode, I did not want to sit at Wintertodd from 50 to 99. And having been here literally all week, I know why. And this was pre-Wintertodd changes. Wintertodd, this place still sucks, but I'll give it a little bit of credit. It is so much better than it was. I'm not cooking through food. I'm not drinking wines or eating blondes. I don't have to teleport back to my house and hit a pool. I don't have to worry about taking like 20s and shit. Like I'm not constantly getting battered. And they've actually lowered the rate that the cold of the Wintertodd seeps into your bones, because that was what pissed me off so much, because I would do all this fletching and the cold of the toad would seep into your bones, and the cold of the toad would seep into your bones, and the cold of the toad would seep into your bones. You'd finally get the whole goddamn inventory fletched, and you'd go to put it in the brazier, and what would happen, Michael? The cold of the toad would seep into your bones, and you could never get any fucking fire-making XP. And it was so annoying. And I just hated it. And I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. The changes they have made are good. I'm not going to say goated. I'm not going to give Wintertodd that kind of credit, but it's way better than old Wintertodd was. And I know for a fact, had I rushed this in the first week, I 100% would have been like, dude, this sucks. I don't want to do this because I can't even enjoy my loot. Because now the most efficient way to enjoy my loot is to keep them in their individual fucking crates and level up all my other skills. Like, that isn't fun. Like, I don't even get a dopamine rush after this. Whereas now the changes they've made are very good, and I have a pretty substantial, like, I'm like at least base 70s or higher in all of the relevant Wintertodd stats. So, like, all things considered, this has not been the longest week of my life doing a skill. But yeah, it was very, very different. Because I did get to 93. I think that's what kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, I think me getting to 93 at the end of last week's episode kind of lit a bit of a fire that you're like, oh no.
It did.
Oh no. He's like within striking distance now.
He did. Yeah, I was low-key worried that it was just going to be, now that Fear had one, my ultimate fear was Oxie's going to push hard for bingo. He's just gonna secretly log in, not tell anybody that he's training fire making. He's gonna do it over the course of the next 3 weeks. And he's just gonna because I don't check your stats that often. I do sometimes. I like to see what my groupies are up to. And well, I was afraid that one day I'll just log in and you're 99 fire making. But I was worried you were gonna do it like the day before bingo, so that I couldn't use the blowpipe throughout the entirety of bingo.
That is so shitty. What in the world?
It's diabolical, but
why would
I can't
do
put it
that
past
to
you.
Why no? I wouldn't. Michael, I have told you to play bingo on your group Iron Man for so many seasons. Why would I be like, I know you're on my team and I could directly or indirectly benefit from any drop that you receive in this bingo, but make it even worse and don't get a blowpipe. Why would I do that to you?
I don't know where my head was at, but it was motivation enough for me to go back to Zulrah. And I wasn't even expecting it.
If it ever floats your boats, dog. I don't know, man.
I was definitely not expecting
Whatever floats your boat.
Because it's been how long has it been since I got the last Onyx was definitely not within the last 128. So this was a surprise, honestly. And it came at a funny time because Fear and I had just started having a conversation about how dry I was and it being super demotivating. And he's like, get back in there. You got this. Trying to encourage me. And I was messaging him. And then not 30 minutes later, after us having this conversation in game, Tansfang on the ground. So, and my wife was in a meeting. So my desk is right here. Over in that corner is her work desk. And she just started a new job. And she was in a meeting. And so I had to be so quiet. I couldn't scream. I couldn't do anything. I didn't start shaking, but I felt adrenaline it to be over.
Could you reenact it for us real quick?
It was something like that. So
beautiful.
It felt good. It felt good. Now, if we do want to discuss some sort of bet/forfeit, if we're going in order of Oxie's least favorite skills, just based on what I've heard you complain about, fire making has always been number one. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Wintertot has always been number one.
Wintertot.
Fire making, back when I did it on my main, fire making didn't feel terrible because I just bought 20,000 redwood logs and just teleported to Varrock and back. I remember I got 90 at Wintertot and was like, all right, I ain't ever coming back here. Because I had green logged Wintertot and I was like, I'm doing redwoods, baby. Redwoods forever. And that's exactly what I did. And it was pretty chill. I was getting 400K an hour or something like that doing redwoods. It was pretty nice.
Redwoods are nice. That's the plan for me. It's I'm banking every single redwood log that I get on this account till 99 wood cutting. I'm up to 2,400 since getting 90 wood cutting. I haven't done any other wood cutting. And so ideally, I would go and get everything that I wanted to get, maybe do up until 90 at Wintertot, and then just do redwoods to 99. But Wintertot has always been your least favorite activity. That's coupled with fire making. The second thing that I've heard you complain about the most has been Slayer. And for some reason, the PVM guy, the guy who likes to hit things with a sword, doesn't like Slayer. I don't understand it. So it would be very fun for me if I gave you a Slayer related goal, not something insane like hundreds and hundreds of hours, because Wintertot wasn't that crazy. I think it was maybe
it was 3.5 years.
Well, say you went from 50 to 99, it's not that many hours.
30 hours.
Yeah. So a 30-hour grind, not the worst. And I've definitely not spent 30 hours at Zulrah. I don't think. They're maybe 2 to 3 minute kills. And I've done 460 of them. So I'll just average it out to 3 because some of the earlier ones were really slow. Divided by 60. I've spent 23 hours at Zulrah. Holy cow. That's a lot of hours. So something around that time frame it would be kind of funny if you had to get your own whip. But it's either I suggest that you get your own whip or you get your own trident. Trident would be a little bit more difficult because you'd have to get a task and then like have the RNG from Kraken. But at least if it's your own whip, then 85 Slayer is like 80 Slayer would be the minimum, obviously, because you can +5 boost. And it's only a 1 in 512. So it'd be a bit easier. But then also, like, if you're looking at what I have to do, it's not that hard. I don't think it's going to be that difficult for me to just lock in and try and master the prep at CG. Because I was sitting in a VC with Fear and Oxie, and they were watching me, you know, my prep and the overall like prep phase was just not good.
Yeah, I mean, your prep does need work. I think like with CG, and this is what I talked about where like, you know, you need to just like improve some things about PVM still, you know, like in the Corrupted Gauntlet, you generally don't really want to be in the same room twice. So like go get your resources. And I know we've talked about before, there's a way you can like sweep the 5 rooms around the starting room, and you don't really have to worry about, like, you should have everything for at least tier 1 in those 5 rooms, usually.
It's like the
then
horseshoe.
You just pop the demis. Yeah, the horseshoe, and you pop the demis right behind that.
And that's what I do. But sometimes you just don't get lucky. Like there's like
that is true. So I mean, sometimes you get hosed, especially like can't find any fish. Like tough shit. I don't know what to tell you. You know,
I'll just die.
There's definitely that piece of it. Yeah, I guess you will just go fuck yourself like that. I know. I get that feeling, but I hate to derail this conversation, Michael. But at the top of the episode, I said a bet is still a bet. And at this point, it's time for that bet to be paid. I wanted to open the episode with this. I was unfortunately about 110K away. I'm currently, Michael, 257 XP from 99 firemaking. If you and everyone else in the recording booth chat would join me on World 514, Sears Village Bank. Let me get the rest of our group here too.
Why is your private chat turned off, by the way?
My private chat has been turned off all week because I did not want people harassing me about being at Wintertodt all week long. I dead ass was like, I cannot put up with DMs from people all week long about being at Wintertodt. I get it. I lost. Please.
Were you getting
have the energy
DMs
for this? No, but like that's Tiki just messaged me and said, "How's Wintertodt going?" I knew that was going to happen because I will get that occasionally, or I did on my max grind get that occasionally from people where like my rune light would show something like, you know, like Oxie M is training range in the Theater of Blood, and people would be like, "That's crazy! I didn't know you train range in the Halls of Sepulchre." I was like, So I was just like, you know what?
That makes sense.
I am turning it off. And my private has been off on my Iron Man literally all week. So if it's looked like I haven't been playing, I have been. I kind of want to go to Wise Old Man and just see how much I've gained this week. Because it's been kind of insane. The Wise Old Man gained for Oxie fans in this past week alone 5.8 million experience.
Holy.
We've gained 5.8 million XP. On April 6th, when we recorded, I had 7.2 million. It's April 13th, and I'm sitting at literally 250 XP away from 99. Another fun fact, this will also be the second time I have gotten 99 firemaking live on the podcast.
Wait, what? You got it last time too?
I got it last time too. The last time I got 99 firemaking was when we had Zulu on the show, and I got it with Zulu when he was doing the what's it called? He was doing the Artie Night thieving.
That's hilarious.
So this will be the second time that I have received 99 firemaking on the show. So if you would do me a favor, Michael, and step to the side so I can clear a path to cook a fire, or start a fire rather.
Is it gonna go left? Oh yeah.
I am gonna go left. All right. Here we go. No more milk. Let's do this.
Let's go.
Fire making is now 99. Congratulations. You're a master of fire making. Holy shit, it's over. Let's go buy the cape.
Run.
Come on, we got to go buy the fucking cape. This guy's around here somewhere, right? He's somewhere in these woods. I don't know why you'd put the guy that makes the fires in the middle of the
woods?
forest, but
Yeah,
here we are.
It. Like, put him outside Wintertodt or something.
There he is. I got to turn the music on. I love the music when you get 99 capes, by the way. Can I help you at all? Can I buy a skill cape of fire making? Absolutely. That'd be 99K. That seems reasonable.
There it is.
Look at that. Look at that. Get over here, Michael.
Oh, yeah. Let's get a screen.
We've done it. We've done it.
Oh, I can't. Okay, let me wait. Stand right. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh, there's a frog on you. Anyway.
Look at us. Look at us.
Look at us.
God,
Sexy,
we're so hot.
Sexy men.
You say we are so hot. The bet is over. The debt has been settled.
Congratulations,
We've done
dude.
it. 99 fire making has been achieved. I am going to go unlock some more group storage for us.
Yay!
What do you guys know about that? Thank you guys for coming to my 99 fire making party recording booth chat. It's been a long run. I'm glad it's over. We never have to go back to Wintertodt, but if you guys would like, I unironically have 99 pulls at the Wintertodt chest.
Let's go see you get the pet.
If you guys are looking for a bit of toad, I got 99 pulls at the chest.
You want to pull them right now?
Oh, hell yeah, I'm going to pull them right now. All right, guys. We have just turned in all of our dupe pieces from Wintertodt, and we have also done all of our pulls. We had 99 pulls at Wintertodt. So right now, the Wintertodt, because I have two different metrics. I have the Wintertodt supply crate and the Wintertodt reward crate, or the reward cart from Wintertodt. This is going to be a potentially controversial opinion. These supplies, not worth it. I'm just going to come out swinging at the Iron Man community. Anyone who says, oh my God, you have to rush 99 fire making, the supplies are so good. Not really, dog. I don't agree. I've got some farming XP banked. I got like 23 U seeds. Okay. I got 16 Raynars. I got 29 snaps, 17 Torstals, 46 Snapegrass seeds. Okay. I got like a couple hundred magic logs, couple hundred mahoganies, couple hundred U's, not even 100 raw sharks. Like, I don't know how this translates to a grind. If you don't do it, you're playing Iron Man mode wrong. Maybe I'm just too main brain pilled and I don't understand. This shit can't be worth it. You guys can't be opening all of your new accounts here and think to yourself, oh yeah, this is the shit. I need this for my account so bad. I only made like 600K in cash. I don't get it, dude. I don't, and I don't think I ever will. But you know what? It's not my problem anymore. I don't ever have to come back here. I have 527 KC. This account might die forever with 527 KC because I have a 99 on an Iron Man account that I got kind of against my will. Like, literally, look at these herbs in my bank. All of this is from Wintertodt. That's not worth it. I don't know, dude. Maybe I'm just a cynic.
You are a cynic. But I think that Otis said it best. He said, this is why it's an opening iron strat, not a mid-game to end-game strategy. Because what you're looking at would be kind of massive for a brand new account. And you're sitting here with a 1,700 total mid-game iron looking at like 42 groms and like, what am I going to do with this? But yeah, it's like, yeah, there are better strategies to open an iron. I think that the Wintertodt strategy is a bit outdated when you have things like Hunter Rumors. You could even do a bit of Temporal. Like, you can mix it up. Wintertodt used to be the only thing. We didn't have Temporos. We didn't have Hunter Rumors. You couldn't just go sit at Castle Wars. You couldn't do agility. You couldn't not like agility, but you couldn't do wilderness agility. You couldn't kill zombie pirates. Like this was it. 99 fire making was it at Wintertide. It was the best for like just stuff. It's not great now, but it was. I can attest as somebody who did a 50 to 99 fire making grind on an opening Iron Man account back in 2020 before everything else kind of like blew up as far as like what they were, when they were focusing on the early game. It was pretty busted. I think you got slightly unlucky with the GP, unless it just didn't count all of it. Because sometimes if you spam open crates, it won't count everything. But I got my first million GP on my iron back in the day when I actually had a Grey Helm Iron Man. And I remember having pretty decent Herblore XP. I wish I could go back and just look at what my banked XP was after the fact, but I didn't have that data. But Oxie opened 5 more group storage slots.
I didn't realize I thought it was 2, not 5. That's crazy.
Nice. But yeah, I will say you're right in some aspects. You're not completely off base by saying it's mid, but it's mid for you now. I think if you had done this in the first week, and also like if you weren't a group Ironman, Otis also said GIM shared RNG failed you. I interpreted that as like you have a GIM team that backs you up on a lot of things. So maybe you would have appreciated those little bits and bobs a bit more if somebody wasn't, helping you along the way with farm runs and supplies and food and all of that. Like if you're a solo iron, it may be a little different. You should definitely not do this on a main account. By no means should you be sitting at and getting 99 fire making right off the rip as a main account. There are better things for you to do with your time. 100%. But as a main iron, it's a bit different. You have other options now. Times have changed. Go do Hunter Rumors. Go do Wilderness Agility. Go do Temporos. Go do some Wintertide. Like, if I had to make a guide, I would tell people, like, get at least, like, 75 or 85. I don't know what the diary requirement is. Because, like, you will need
Desert
fire
Treasure
making
2, I'm
for
pretty
desert.
sure.
Like, there's quests. So 75 is for Desert Treasure 2. If you get a lamp from Guardians of the Rift, you'll need some fire making levels for that, I believe, as well as some wood cutting levels as an iron. And I mean, I've played my account quite a bit. I have 80 fire making, and I've never ran into a challenge I couldn't conquer. So at this point in my account,
imagine not having 99. Am I right? Hey,
maybe I'll just go and do it so that I can say that I've got it. No, I don't want to do that. I'll probably end up getting it very, very passively. Like I said, with once I get 99 wood cutting, if I just use that as my AFK activity, even after I get 99 wood cutting, I'll have a ton of logs just to burn, and it'll go really quickly. If I look at my Wintertide log, I have the top and the hood and gloves. I have 3 pairs of gloves and 3 torches, but like I have the top and the hood, and I've killed 120. I've killed 120 Wintertide. So like I've got a long way to go. Like I don't even have the full Pyromancer. I would like to get a tome. It would be kind of nice, so we can have more tomes for the groupies. So I
did my part for King and Country. I put my tome in there.
Tiki says it means you're not doing Sherlock steps. I've done every Master Clue step and Elite Clue step that I've had to do. I don't know what you're talking about, bruv. I think Master Clue, I think it is 90, right? Burn a Redwood log is one of the Master Clue steps for Sherlock.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you know what's funny? You know what's really funny? That was one of the last Sherlock steps that I did, and it was on my main in 2018, because I think I've told the story on the podcast, and if I haven't, it's been a long time. But I have 1 KC, like I have 1 completed Master Clue on my main account, and I've got the Bloodhound pet. I got the Bloodhound pet in 1 pull, 1 Master Clue done and dusted. And so that Master Clue took me like 2 or 3 weeks because I was putting off fire making. At the time that I got the clue, I was like 70 or 75 fire making. and it was a Sherlock step, and it was like burn a redwood log, or it was something to do. It was maybe a burn a redwood log, or burn something like a magic pyre log or something. So I had to get fire making levels. So I just like, I don't want to do this right now. So I put it back in my bank, and I put it off for a few weeks, and I got the itch to do it one day. So I just all in one day, 75 to 85 fire making at Wintertime, and I got it, and I did the step, and then the next step was the agility shortcut in like the elf lands. And then that was my final step on the master clue, and I got the bloodhound pet. But it's something that I'll remember a long time because I put that off, and I know it was a Sherlock step, and I know I had to go do fire making. And if I had just like given up and like, I'm just dropping this clue, I'm not going to do fire making, I would not have the bloodhound pet.
True. Well, I think that puts some sort of a cap on the first half of the episode. I'm trying not to be so much of a cynical bitch. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm surprised. I don't think they're worth it. Whatever. I'm sure somebody out there enjoys them. I'm not going to yuck your yum. I got told many times from last week's episode that I was a negative Nancy. So, but this brings up the point that I had earlier. I get comments not infrequently that I'm a bit of a bitch about a lot of things. That's fine. Those don't bother me. When I went back through, because the cold opener for this week I sent to Michael already, and I had to listen through old episodes. And the first one that I listened through was like episode 8 or episode 4 or something like that. When we're like talking about what Iron Man could mean, right? Like his group Iron Man had like just been confirmed or something like that. And in the episode, it's like bright-eyed optimism with some of the things that are happening. I don't know. I think it's in episode 8, maybe in episode 32. I make some sort of comment because like you and I are talking about goals. You're still trying to max your main. Your son had like just been born, maybe. You're still trying to max your main. And I am nowhere near where I am on either one of my accounts right now. And I remember I was in my kitchen right over there, and I was getting dinner ready or whatever I was doing. And I was listening to this episode, and I had said in one of the episodes, like, yeah, my long-term goals are Diary Cape, Max Cape, Infernal Cape. And I remember sitting there doing whatever I was doing, and it was like Diary Cape, got it. Max Cape, got it. Infernal Cape, got it. I'm like, damn. We've been doing this show for a long time. We've been at this bitch for a long time. I don't know. Maybe the bright-eyed, optimistic Oxie of old. Who knows? But at the same time, I thought to myself, like, yeah, maybe I was not that negative in other episodes. You and I fight like cats and dogs in episode 32. Like, it's not even just that moment. The entire episode talking about Iron Man mode, you and I are bitching at each other. So I don't know. I don't know what has been up my ass these last couple of weeks, but who knows? Trying to take a bit of a more positive outlook. It's just wild to think how long we've been doing this and what the passage of time has meant for our accounts and meant for the show and all that, you know. Randomly, you just get slapped in the face with it. I didn't have a beard in episode 32.
It was those early episodes.
I didn't have a beard. I didn't have
short
my
hair.
E-boy afro that I have right now. I don't know. We're both in totally different spaces too.
Yep. I've moved so many times since we started the show. I started the show pre-child in an apartment, and then moved into a house that we were renting and had a child, and then moved into our current house in a different room, and then I moved into this room that I have now. So at least 4 different studio spaces, if you will. And you've also had, I think, just as many. It's hard to notice in some of them because like you've moved to 2 different apartments that had the exact same room layout.
I did. I moved. So I lived in an apartment complex in my old city, and I lived in like the northwestern half of the complex, or the northeastern half of the complex, and then I moved to the southwestern half of the complex. Bedroom layout was identical. I got the same room. I had the same roommate. The only thing that was different is now we didn't have anything obstructing the sun. So that's why that's one of the reasons I started wearing these shirts on the show.
Oh, the deep lore.
Was because I had, so the reason I wear my little gay boy dad shirts, fun drunk uncle at a party, not married in uncle, the brother of your mom uncle, the funnest type of uncle. The reason I started wearing these shirts is because at the apartment that I moved to in like summer of 2021, which would have been, because that was the infamous E3 episode that everybody hated. That was the one that like I recorded at my new kitchen table because I didn't like have a desk. So I had to, record out in the kitchen. I started wearing these shirts because in the summertime, I would get sun from like 8:30 in the morning, direct sun into my bedroom window from like 8 or 9 in the morning all the way through to like 9 o'clock at night. And it was hot as shit in my apartment. That apartment was so hot. Michael's like, oh, turn the AC on. I'm like, dude, with what money? I ain't turning the AC on because the electric companies in Michigan do this super cool thing that between like 2 p.m. and 7 p.m., the cost of electricity skyrockets. I don't know if that's just in Michigan or if that's other places too, but like during peak summer hours, the cost of electricity goes up so the grid doesn't fry, and it kind of incentivizes people to keep their air conditioners turned off, which like I'm sure has its environmental merits. It's not the worst thing in the world. It just makes for a sweaty apartment. So I tried to wear cutoff t-shirts, and Michael called me a bum in one of our extra episodes that we used to release. So I put a suit jacket on over it.
The whole time.
Over a cutoff. The whole time. Literally wore the suit jacket with my cutoff t-shirt the entire time. And I was like, that's obviously not sustainable. I need to find something that is more palatable. And I just started wearing these shirts because I bought them from Old Navy and I really liked them. And I was trying out a new look. And then it just became the look. And I have recorded in one of these shirts in pretty much every episode.
Yeah, I can count on one hand.
Nearly the entire catalog. I don't know if you can count on one hand. The ratio is probably like 85 to 90% of video episodes.
Yeah.
Following episode like 16, maybe, I'm in one of these button-up shirts for sure.
I don't think I have a consistent image other than I wear our merch a lot. And that's just me every day. I wear our merch. It's better now, but for a while there, most of the shirts that I owned and I wore a lot, it was our merch. This is not our merch. I got this at Target, but I don't have a consistent thing. I love the image that you've crafted for yourself. It's kind of fun. But dude, yeah, so much has changed. So much has changed in the show, and touching on your negativity last week, you were tired, you were sick. I get it. Like if I had to record an episode in the week that I had food poisoning, I would have been a bitch too, because just breathing hurt my throat, and like I was coughing every other word, and I just wanted to sleep. So like, yeah, sure, Oxie was a little bitch, but like he's also sick, guys. So calm down.
I gotta level with you. I'm gonna be negative again.
No,
if fuckers listen to the show, I'm gonna be negative again.
Don't do it.
I have an image to keep alive here, Michael.
There is a very interesting dichotomy between us where I think I've heard it called out, and I don't know if it was in a comment or what, but like some people were like, you guys like balance each other pretty well, because I'm generally the optimist type and you're the pessimist in the of the two of us in most things. And so we balance each other out, where I can look at I could look at an update and be like, wow, that's great. And you're like, Michael, that sucks. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that kind of sucks. And the vice versa is true too, where you're like, oh, I'm not really feeling this. And hopefully I can say something that can help you see the positive light. And you're like, oh yeah, okay, well, that's not as bad. But it's just, we kind of balanced each other out over the years to where it hasn't really ever been an issue. That's like, it makes for an interesting conversational dynamic, I would say. Because if we were both bouncing off the walls, kind of like crazy optimistic the whole time, I think that would get very boring, because life is not perfect. This game is obviously not perfect. If we want to take it to a more granular level, Jagex is not perfect. So there are going to be times where our opinion might not be the most sugar coated, rainbows and marshmallows, and it's not going to be fine and dandy all the time. So we kind of have to balance each other out in that way.
I spend the majority of my days in like the realist headspace, or at least to the best of my ability, because I have to be for the people I work for. If you have a therapist who's very like hunky-dory, overly pleasant all the time, at some point that's disingenuous.
Yeah.
That's not what you're looking for out of that service. So for someone who gives off a vibe of like a hyper pessimist, I don't entirely, not that I disagree with you, I don't agree that I'm that outwardly pessimistic. I think I can be a bit of a bitch on the show, but in general, I don't think I am that overly pessimistic.
Like
especially
IRL.
if you've hung out with me in person. Yeah. I'm not this much of like a everything sucks. Oh, I'm gonna go sit in my room. Terrible. Promise it's not the vibe.
What's up,
most
Eeyore?
of the time. Eeyore.
Okay. I think that is another big change. Correlating it to your job, there was a while there where you weren't like doing full-time actual depressed college kids therapy. You were working with kids.
Dude, working or listening to those old episodes where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start internship next year.
Yeah.
I'm like, holy
It wasn't
shit. That was so
you were in
long
school
ago.
for a while.
I wasn't even in my internship in graduate school when I did that. I've lived 1,000 lifetimes over the course of this show. It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd. And 99 Fire Making, its stupid winter, Todd, has forced us to look back.
Oh gosh.
At this point in our lives. It's crazy. It really does feel like it has been a quadrillion years. It's wild.
We've gotten older. I think that's another thing.
We have gotten a hell of a lot older, I'll tell you that.
Like you're closer to 30 than you are closer to your age when you started. Does that make sense? I guess that makes sense.
I might be closer to 30 now than you were when you started the show.
Probably. Damn.
So
I was 29.
I'll be 29 in like 3 months.
Holy. Damn, dude.
Yeah, we've been doing this shit.
Oh,
We've been
gosh.
doing this shit for a long time, big dog. We've been doing this shit for a long time. This is not the point of the episode, by the way. I don't know how much of that of the fanfare and the screenshots and the pulling all 99 Wintertod rewards got left in the show. So I have no idea what like minute mark we're at. We're here to talk about bingo.
Oh yeah. Another thing we know a lot about.
I know we kind of glazed over our weeks. You just saw my week. You saw the culmination of literally everything I've been doing. I was pleasantly enjoying myself because I had called out of work on Monday. Was pleasantly enjoying myself playing Pokemon Legends Arceus. Really enjoying it, by the way. I know some people did want updates. PLA is a lot of fun. Now that I've gotten through the 40 hours of fucking cutscenes in the beginning that is teaching me how to play Pokemon, I don't know why the game insists on giving me a tutorial for like walking in a straight line. PLA has so many cutscenes, whereas the older Pokemon games were like, hey, figure it out. And now this one is like every single time I enter Jublife Village, there was a new cutscene for a while. I think that part's over. I just got to the third area. I just fought the second frenzied Pokemon, and now I'm going to meet the person, the warden, to find or fight the third or what have you. So I'm progressing well. I'm enjoying it. The formula is new and fun and nice. I haven't been able to enjoy it as much as I wanted to this week because I've been fucking stuck at Wintertod. But now that's what I'm going to be doing from the time we record to the time this episode comes out, probably. Don't ask me about the quiver. I don't know how it's going. I've been playing Pokemon all week long.
I've been doing a lot of different things since we last recorded. What did I? So my week generally, I kind of look at my week in two sections. I look at my week as what did I do when I was AFK editing the podcast for the majority of the week, and then what did I do when I wasn't AFK? And I can't remember if I did rune crafting or construction. I want to say I did construction while I was editing. So we recorded on Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday I was editing, and I did construction, and I'm up to 88. I want to say by the time this episode comes out, I'll probably have hit 90 because like it's not terribly long, but it does feel long doing mahogany homes. Good news is I broke into my mahogany planks finally. I finished all my teak planks that I had banked. And now to get to 99, it's 24,000 mahogany planks doing mahogany homes. Somebody called me out today and they're like, "So what are you working on?" It may have been Raccoon. I was like, "I'm doing mahogany homes." "Why are you doing mahogany homes?" Like, I've got 99 construction banked. And they're like, "Do your groupies have construction levels?" I was like, "Yeah, Fear has a house." It's like, "What about the other ones?" I'm like, they're like, early to mid 70s. He's like, "And you're getting 99 construction?" I'm like, "Yeah, got it banked." He's like, "Oh." So somebody, I don't remember if it was Raccoon, but I was definitely judged for getting 99 construction when like TMD sitting at
I wasn't gonna be the one to say it.
TMD sitting at 71.
Figure it out.
Ralph is sitting at 70. Oxie's got 75. So I have 99 banked for myself. I've done the calculations in the XP. 24,000 more planks would get me to 99. But I will have to really think about it this week once I get to 90. If I want to throw the rest of the mahogany planks in there, let you guys just have at them, and y'all can have your little maxed houses, and I'll go and get 24 more thousand planks another time, because it would be kind of weird for me to have 99 construction and everybody else just have 70. It would be a little weird. I'm going to see how many planks would Oxie need to get to 82. He would
Not that many. I would probably get to 83 TBH.
Okay, beggars are
What
going
am
to
I
be
poor?
choosers.
I was gonna say, what am I poor? I'm not gonna.
Beggars are choosers
I'm
here.
gonna not do that. I'm gonna say, what do you mean beggars are choosers? I have, assuming I include all those, I have 83 banked. I just need to get the goddamn
Holy,
planks. I have 84 banked if someone makes me the planks, or if I buy them myself. I have 84 banked
well,
in mahogany logs.
if you're doing mahogany homes, it would not be as this many. But if you did it with POH construction, you would need 10.4K in POH construction. I don't know what that looks like with mahogany homes. It's
Mahogany
like
homes gets me to 84. Yeah.
So it's 1.4 million XP divided by how many XP per plank? Oh, okay. So you would only need, if I would just have to drop around 4,000 planks into group storage for you to get 83. So that would probably mean like 5,000 or 6,000 for Ralph. And then if TMD commits to playing the account, I would throw another 5,000 or 6,000 in there for him. But then that, that leaves me, I don't know how many I'm going to need to get to 90. But that doesn't leave me with 99 at this point. So I don't know. Oxie says he's got it banked already, so that's one less child I have to feed. Then it would just be basically Ralph, maybe TMD.
Your life is so hard.
Single mom who works 2 jobs, bro. We said it last week. So you guys may hear updates from me next time we talk. If I've made the decision, I'm gonna get 99 for myself, or I'm gonna be a good communist brother and share the wealth around the group. But that's what I've been doing this week. I did a couple TOAs with Fear. It hasn't gotten anything. I got my blowpipe early in the week. I don't know why I was doing Zora on a Monday, because I should have been editing. Maybe I was just like taking a break from editing. I can't remember, but I was doing Zora on a Monday for some reason. Should have been editing. But yeah, we can definitely start talking about bingo now, because I don't know what the timestamp is looking like right now. But talking about fire making was not going to be main title content. It could have been, probably. We could have stretched that out a bit. But we wanted to talk to you guys about bingo, because if you haven't heard, TNL Springo is coming up within the next few weeks. At the time of this episode being released, we have, what is today? Today is the 17th. We have just about 2.5 weeks until the event would start.
You have exactly 1 week to sign up.
1 week to sign up. So signups will be closed on the 24th. No other signups will be accepted after the close. And there is a chance that we, by this point, could have hit the cap too. So we're going to have a cap of at least 500 people. Once we get to 500, we're cutting it off. So
not a cap of at least, a hard cap of 500 people.
But I'm saying at least because we could still fall under that by the time the 24th rolls around. We could have
at most.
Sorry, at
500
most
people.
500 people. And so it's first come first serve, at most 500. And if you have been on the fence about joining, head over to the Discord and just sign up. Now, that's not to say that, like, we want you to sign up and then decide if you're going to play. Like, if you're serious about wanting to play and you know that you'll be somewhat active during the week, join. Hang out with us during bingo. It's a great time. It's going to be May 3rd to May 10th. We're ending in the US at least, and I think maybe in Europe as well. We're ending the day before Mother's Day in the US.
Mother's Day already happened in the UK.
Oh, it did? Okay. I don't know.
Mother's Day is already over in the UK, but in the United States, if you guys were here for Springo 24, we ended on Mother's Day. Wow, what a terrible decision that was.
Yeah.
I remember being at like a Mother's Day brunch and my whole like bingo team was like, what are we doing? I'm like, who cares?
Go talk to your
It's
mom.
Mother's Day. Who cares?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, hang out with your mom, call your girlfriend's mom. Dude, don't play RuneScape. We've already blacked out the board. I don't give a shit about Scorpio Pets. Go spend time with your mom. We're ending it the day before. So if you still can't play on the 10th because like you have to go somewhere, you have to travel to see your mom, that's totally fine. But we are not going to be playing bingo on Mother's Day again. We're not doing that. So it ends Saturday, realistically, in the evening EST, maybe like 7, 8 o'clock at night Eastern time.
If you're in Australia, though, I've heard that it ends on Mother's Day, which I didn't know that Australian Mother's Day was the same day as ours. So apologies for that. But we don't have that many Australians anyway. You guys still matter.
We've got enough to justify like a team,
an entire team,
like a bingo team. Yeah. Which, speaking of teams, I'm gonna say this right now. Please, 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 please. If you think you would make a decent captain, sign up to be captain. At the time of recording, we have just enough captains to meet our cap, assuming we have 25 teams of 20 players apiece. If y'all ain't ever played in a bingo before, 20 players on a team is absurd.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So if teams can get a little bit smaller, it can be a little bit more competitive. I think we had like 32, 33 teams for fall bingo. If we could get up to that point, that'd be great. If we get 35 captains, that'd be fantastic. If you think, you know what, I played in a lot of TNL bingos before, I think I'd make a good captain, consider signing up to be a captain. We have captain's guides. You will probably get early access. I mean, honestly, at this point, if we're good bingo admins, we should have told the first wave of captains who they are. Like, it should already be a thing. We have guides on how to captain. We have guides on how to submit screenshots. We've got the old YouTube video, which it's not like not relevant anymore, but it's helpful. It's kind of helpful. We have our data team is in the captain's chat. Our bingo admins are in the captain's chat. If you have any questions on any tiles or any procedures or anything with the draft, we can help you out. We're not going to be like, oh, you signed up for a captain, you've never done it before, and you're overwhelmed because there's 500 fucking people playing in this event. There's like 3 bill on the line, and you don't know how to do it. Womp womp. We're not. That's not how we're gonna roll. So if you're like, oh, I don't know what to do as a captain, but I've played in a lot of these, you might make a good captain.
I will say one thing that we've started doing within the last couple of years is having people have the option of having a co-captain. Which the co-captain really is like, you guys are equals in every sense of the word. Like a co-captain can do drafts, a co-captain do all this. So like, it's not necessarily like you are the leader. It's just somebody to lead with. We give people the option to have a co-captain. And what that means is that the responsibilities of what a captain would do is shared with somebody else. So if you're worried that like, oh, I won't have time to do everything, I don't know if I can lead effectively alone, pull in somebody you know and you trust and that you could, do it alongside and have them be your co-captain. And maybe that changes your mind on wanting to be a captain. I will say the only stipulation and the only criteria that I personally look at when we have somebody who signs up to be a captain is, can we judge your activity within the Discord? Like, have you been active in Discord? Have you been active in the game? Do you have the knowledge and the experience to help people if they have questions on content? Because like, not only are you going to be doing admin things for your team, like validating screenshots, inputting them into spreadsheets, all of that kind of stuff, you are also going to be ideally the go-to person to ask questions. Now, you can draft A+ players who might like teaching raids or might like teaching content. But we kind of, as bingo organizers, have an expectations that when we have a captain, they are the go-to, and we're not going to rely on you to have a random pick, like an RNG draft, determine whether or not you can get like a grade A+ PVMer god to be on your team to do the thing that that you should be doing. So you yourself kind of have to know the game, and you have to be able to be active. This is not this is not a situation where you can be like, hey guys, I can play for like 5 hours the week of bingo. I think I'm going to be a captain. We're going to be like, hey, thank you for wanting to be a captain, but we need people who are going to be active and to be able to be online, not only to play with their team and motivate their team, but also to like admin the team. These are things that we look for. So if you haven't been active in TNL or not, and you haven't been active in the CC, and maybe you're a lurker or whatever, and you meet all that criteria and you want to sign up to be a captain, reach out to me, reach out to Oxie, start a conversation. I had a potential bingo captain reach out to me today, and I got to talking to them. I'm like, hey, I don't see activity in the Discord. I don't, I don't know much about you. So just tell me about yourself. Have you played in bingos before? What's your content looking like? I looked them up and I saw their boss cases and stuff. And like, it totally kind of shifted my view of allowing this person to be a captain just because that conversation was started. Long-winded ramble to say, sign us to be a captain. We need captains.
And just to clarify Michael's point, knowing the game and being a GM Blorva enjoyer are not the same thing, right? You as a captain should be able to know where you're at in the game. It is going to be helpful for your team to know that like you can't like solo top. That I just want to put that piece out there. You don't have to be a mega gamer,
right,
in order to captain a bingo. I just the way you were wording it, I'm like, ooh, someone's gonna. I don't want anyone to get the wrong impression. You don't have to be a mega gamer to captain a bingo. Activity is important. Personality is important. If you're a know-it-all piece of shit, maybe don't sign up to be a captain.
If you're not a
Not
people
saying
person,
anybody not saying anybody. Hey, if you're not a people person, not saying anybody has. If you're like, I don't know, maybe I could do it. I promise you, you will be supported through the process, because fortunately or unfortunately, this is not like many clan bingos most people have participated in. If you've never been in a TNL bingo before, strictly because of the scale.
yeah,
Like in fall bingos, and we do wacky gimmicks and shit, like those are meant to be weird. But as far as like the scale of the event, once you guys get the hang of it, get your feet wet, get moving, it's not going to be that hard. The more captains we have, the better, because the more competitive teams will be. 25 teams of 20 players versus 35 teams of 13 players drastically changes the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what I encourage you guys, is to sign up for captains. And then also, players, sign up. I don't want to hear any of this like, I don't think I have the skill or level. Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up. I don't want to hear it. Sign up. If your only barrier to entry is you can't afford the buy-in fee, let us know.
which is
Otherwise,
5 mil, by the way.
shut the hell up and sign up.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're 1200 total level. I don't care if you're a mobile only Iron Man. I don't care if you got 2 jobs and 3 kids and you can only put in 10 hours a week. I don't care. I want you to sign up and play bingo because you really will enjoy it. Hell, for better or for worse, being told about a bingo in August or July of 2020 was effectively what began the domino effect that led us to episode 192 right here. That is where I participated in a bingo. It was a tiny 5x5 board. I was on a team of like 9 people, mostly gamers. I was the last overall pick who got put on their team. Mega noob. Literally, I got my first Zulrah KC the day before bingo started. So like mega baby noob. And that was so much fun to be able to play and learn as a mega baby noob who couldn't do anything. Literally anything. So was this before or after? This was well after the mole guide, I'm fairly sure. So sign up and play. I don't care. And if you're on the upper level of PVM, if you're like in the end game and you're like, it's TNL, they're not going to have anything that hard, you must have missed fall bingo. There's going to be stuff for you to do too. I promise. We very much factor in the end of the end game in as best as we can, because when we say there's something for everybody, we don't just mean go collect 10 pairs of iron boots. We
Which we've done before.
Yeah.
But
we're
not shy.
Everyone will have something to do. Sign up. I promise.
That being said, is there anything we can talk about for this bingo coming up? Or is it still all pretty close to the chest?
This bingo doesn't have a gimmick. If you've played in TNL bingo so far, particularly in the fall, or if you've never played in one of our clan bingos and have only heard us talk about it through the last couple of months, around the time I was maxing all that, we usually had some sort of gimmick in the fall. In the spring, we don't have that. In the spring, there's not really a gimmick. I mean, there are ways that we are freshening up the bingo experience this time around. It's not a gimmick. It's not overcomplicated. We've had many, many, many conversations about tiles, about, game mechanics, like bingo game mechanics, not RuneScape game mechanics. A lot of conversations that have come down to, we're overcomplicating it. Let's bring it back to basics.
Yep.
Because at this point, we've been doing this shit for a long time. We think it's a lot of fun. We can think of fun ways to diversify it. The spring tends to be a lot more competitive. Whereas the fall is just like, what if we locked everything behind other things? What if we got the point scoring wrong? What if we sent them all around the world in a region locked skill tree? Whoa. TMD once drafted like a March Madness bingo at one point. He also once drafted a Shattered Relics bingo many years ago where you had to collect like pieces of tiles. It was weird. In the fall, we just make some shit up. But in the spring, it is very much your standard RuneScape bingo. Keep it simple and Springo, like we talked about back in the fall with all those old videos. That is going to be the Springo experience. It's going to be a little bit more competitive, especially if we have more teams.
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to be fun. It's not going to be any weird rules. Sign up and play.
With the amount of people that we had play last bingo, which was 470 something, in the amount of captains we had, which was near about 30, the winning team walked away with like over, I think it was close to like 2 billion GP to split between all of them. That's insane. It may have been like $1 billion. And then like the rest of the money got split up between second, third, fourth, fifth. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, it was like 1.1.
But
It was a
holy
shitload of money.
cow, dude. Because our buy-in for this event is going to be 5 million GP. So just the buy-ins alone are going to be 1 to 2 billion GP worth of winnings. And then obviously we have people donate. Xpwaste buys a bunch of bonds and we throw that into the prize pool. We have people donate like extra buy-ins for people. We have people donate to the prize pool. It's crazy. So if you think you need some money in the game, it's also like an interesting way to potentially have life-changing money on your account. If your bank value is like, oh man, I've got like a bank value of like 30 mil. 100 mil is a lot of money. It's going to get you places. So,
and I know, not that it's the expectation. It would never be the expectation. I've been on many a bingo team before where you play with high level players or players who are significantly higher level than you, and they're like, all right, cool. We each got 70 mil from the split. I'm an endgame iron, or I have a 13 bill bank. I don't really care. I'll just give my share of the split to, Joe Schmo noob. And then other endgame players like, yeah, you bring up a good point. I don't really give a shit. Like, I've been on bingo teams. I think we tied for 4th place or something in Springo 24. And I was like, this money is useless. I'm not taking it. Just,
get it out
go
of my
ahead
face.
and give it to whoever. Like, not like, oh, this is useless, I don't want it. But it was like we each got like, I don't know, maybe a 12 mil split. So like 12 mil is not going to rustle my jimmies. But when you pile it with 6 other players and give it to the 1300 level player on your team, they just made 90 mil. Like, that's a shitload of money. Again, it's not like that's ever the expectation. That's just been my experience on some bingo teams. So,
yeah, she said her team got 2nd last spring, and she got 40 mil. Not bad. And Springo wasn't as big as fall bingo. It keeps getting bigger every year. So who knows what the prize pool is going to look like? Who knows how the players, like the player count we're going to get? We are currently at like 350, I want to say, with roundabouts
350, yeah.
a week and a half left to sign up. So after this episode goes out and you guys hear about it, and we basically beg you to sign up, we could hit 400, 450 soon. So like I said, first come, first serve on signups. If you're 501, sorry, it's not going to happen. Even if people don't pay their buy-ins, and they don't, if we don't have the 500 participants, we're still just gonna roll with whoever pays their buy-in. So sign up. Link is going to be in our Discord, and that Discord link is going to be in the description. So if you've joined Discord and you're like, holy freak, what is going on? Just go scroll down a bit and go to the events channel, and it'll be one of the couple messages. If you scroll up, it'll be a message from Tiki. It says, hello everyone. It's the moment you've all been waiting for. Bingo signups are open. So that's the link you're looking for. And if you want to be a captain, the one directly below that is from me. So captain sign up is also in the events channel on Discord.
So the reason we wanted to talk about bingo this week in particular, maybe we won't talk about this forever, but just as like a little snippet, because this episode got hella off track. What do you do to prepare for bingo? So when this episode comes out, it's April 17th. There's not an episode next week. And the episode after that is like 2 days before bingo starts. So now is the time for accounts of all places within the game to start preparing. Give me a little lowdown on how you are going to prep for Springo 25.
I did a big herb lore push over the last couple of weeks. I've been farming, over the last couple of months, I've been farming a shit ton of toad flax. And I had like 1,000 toad flax. And then TMD and Ralph have just been busting out they've been busting out the birdhouse runs. So they also dropped in like 1,000 nests. So I made a bunch of brews. And then 2 days ago, I started farming snapdragons so that hopefully by the time bingo starts, I'll have a adequate amount of restores to go with my brews. And I think like just overall prep, I'll probably end up going and grabbing more karambwans, because right now I have like 1,000 karambwans, and knowing myself, I eat those like it's a buffet, even for just like normal things like Slayer. So I'm pretty set on potions. I need to go collect some Zora scales, I would imagine. I would like to do some CG, potentially get a Bofa before bingo, because I think that's like the next big pinnacle of my account is going to be a Bofa. The next big thing that's going to bump me up to the next level is the Bofa. It's going to unlock content. It's going to unlock doing content faster. So like I can't ignore the Corrupted Gauntlet this week and next week. Although for me, bingo prep is going to look a little bit different because I still have admin work to do. I'm designing the board, and it's going to take a little bit extra work this year to get that done. I can speak about that when when bingo is, when we've started bingo as to why that is, but it's just going to take a little bit extra for me this time around. And I've made some headway. Like the tiles are on
he's
graphic.
Cooking. He's cooking.
We're cooking. The tiles are on a graphic, and some of the graphics have the images. I just have to go down the list and put them on there. But that's going to be that will honestly probably take up a majority of what I'm doing the next couple of weeks. Is like still doing bingo admin stuff, but account prep wise, this is going to be a potentially unpopular opinion and maybe a hot take all at once. But in the days and weeks leading up to bingo, I don't like doing anything other than prepping. I don't like doing anything that could potentially spoil a drop that I could have got during bingo. I know some people think, oh, you should pad your RNG so that like if you do, a few hundred Zulrah, a couple of raids, that potentially you make yourself do by the time that bingo rolls around. I don't think that that's how RNG works. You're gonna hit the random number whether you've done it once or 10,000 times. You have the option to hit that random number for the drop from the very first time you do it, or it could take you several thousand. So like it all depends on time invested into doing what you are doing in order to get the drop. And I don't like investing a lot of time in like anything that could potentially be a bingo drop for a tile, but the weeks leading up to bingo. So, and I've always done this. It's not even just like me on my Iron Man. When I had my main and I was playing on the main, I just wouldn't do anything. Like I would cut redwoods or something. I would runecraft. I would just like a skill. Nothing that's going to potentially make me miss out on getting a drop that I could have got during a bingo. Again, hot take, unpopular opinion, I don't know. There's got to be some people out there like that. You're not like that, which was why I think it's potentially a hot take for the show. Because I think you're the type of guy who's like, clan raid, like once we figure out our teams, you guys are like sending raids the whole week, getting people ready, getting people hyped. I'm like, I don't really want to do a raid right now. I'll do it, but if I pull a purple, it's gonna feel real bad that I got it now and not during bingo.
I have been a part of best purple I ever saw it in a team leading up to a bingo when the team's already been established. In Springo 24, we pulled a trio shadow right before Springo.
Huh.
And it was like a 560 mil split. Huge for the Springo bank, let me tell you. I am of the mindset, like how I'm going to prep for bingo, I'm going to do the exact opposite to Michael.
Hell yeah.
I'm a main, so I don't need to do any of this herb lore shit. I'm a main with a max cape. No, I'm not playing in my GIM. Having made the board, there's things I would like to do on my GIM as opposed to my main. We can't account swap. And the reason we can't account swap, just to address it right now, we've been in a lot of other bingos and a lot of other communities that are close to us that allow like, hey, play on whatever account that you want. Just don't play on both at the same time. Like you can't be in Tob on your iron and AFKing redwoods on your main to get like the wood cutting tile, for example, as an example, right? You can't get a Tob purple and contribute to another tile at the same time on two different accounts. When it's a bingo of like 40 people, it's pretty easy to police, right? The captains who have like 10-person teams are like, hey, don't do that. What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
Or if they do that, the players on other teams are going to be like, hey, admins, People are cheating. What the hell? This is a 500 player event. We can't account for that. Like, you're allowed to do shit on an alt. You're allowed to have as many alts as you want and do whatever. The drop has to be in the name of your account.
Yeah,
I don't
the
know if
account that
we
you
have
signed
any
up with.
rules against. Yeah, I don't know if we have any rules against like doloing. I don't remember.
We don't.
I was once in a bingo where the admins were like, "Hey, you're not allowed to use an alt to like scout chambers or venge other. If there is an alternate person there, if there's someone who's not on your bingo team, it's not allowed." And we were like, "This is the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard. If I get crashed by someone in the wilderness, I have to immediately just respectfully hop." And they were dead set on it. They were like, "Yeah, well, you can't be playing with someone who's not on your team." So I told my team, I'm like, "Dude, there's no way around this. Like, this is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life." And it really was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. That was a wild bingo. That summer bingo from last year, that was the kookiest event I've ever taken part in. Made great friends on my team. Just a kooky set of rules, though. So, as much as I would like to do some grinds on the GIM, I can't. I could sign up on the GIM. I won't. I don't want to. I'm the total opposite to Michael. I have money to make. Turns out when you send 15 Coliseum runs a day, 330K times 15, those kind of add up. Yes, I know it's not 500K. I don't have Ancestral off me. Still kind of poor. I don't have any money on the main. That's where I'm at. I think I have like I had a 15 mil cash stack, and then I paid my buy-in, and then I bought like 2,000 Dragon Darts because I was almost out of Dragon Darts. I haven't been almost out of Dragon Darts in like a year. I was like, that's weird. And bitches are expensive. 2,000 Dragon Darts was like 7 mil. So I was like, oh boy, I don't have any money. So before bingo, I'm going to do a Hydra task, and then I'm going to do a little Vorkath, and then I'm going to do Coliseum. That's what I'm doing. If I can get the quiver before bingo, cool. That's one less thing I have to worry about doing. On the flippity flip, it's not the first time that I have gone into something with a goal in mind that has not been achieved. The amount of bingos I played without an Infernal Cape. I played Springo 24 with 96, 97 agility. Like, I wanted to get 99 beforehand. I just didn't. I got to level with you. I don't care at this point. If I get the quiver, cool. If not, whatever. I'll get it eventually. I'll just keep milking it. I don't really... Coliseum fun. I need to make money. And if you're a main who's sitting in the end game like I am, and you need bingo prep advice, at this point, get money. If you are in my position, right?
If you don't have
a
money.
maxed account. Well, like even if you have money, I got a buddy who had so much money that he sold his entire bank, bought a third age pickaxe, and is working on rebuilding back up to his third mega rare. Like,
sheesh.
I don't know. Like, it's just, some people just have that kind of money, If you're in that position where you have a maxed account, you've achieved pretty much all of your goals that you want, like, I need to get a quiver. Okay, cool. If I don't get that, it's not the end of the world. I still have a Missouri max cape. Whatever. If you're where I'm at, money is your most important thing going into a bingo. You could argue Slayer points are important. They are. Turiel skipping. I was enlightened to the joys of Turiel skipping in fall 24. Turiel skipping goes real hard in a bingo. No, Turiel skipping.
Oh.
Turiel boosting goes real hard to get points. Turiel skipping when you get a shitty task.
Oh.
When you get like a Necreals task and you don't need anything, it's really nice to Turiel skip and get like 10 dogs, and then just go get another task. You don't get any Slayer points, but it's not too bad. You need money. You need money to buy supplies. You need money because nobody likes to like interrupt a raid trip to go buy a couple hundred brews. Buy a shitload of prayer potions, Sarah brews, restores, super combats, range potions, divines in particular. Buy enough divines that you can take like 100 of them and decant them into 1 doses for pre-pots. Buy anglerfish, manta rays, karambwans, stamina potions, anti-venoms, super anti-fires, ammunition, scales, vials of blood, runes. You don't want to run out of particularly blood runes. If you got that money, buy like 2 or 3 blood furies, 2 or 3 blood shards. Like the sustain is nutty, right? It's worth the purchase 100%. You're also going to want to sit on, like, beyond having an excess of supplies, an excess of charges, an excess of ammo, an excess of runes. You're going to want to have a little bit of money sitting around as an end game main for 2 reasons. Number 1, you never know when you're going to need to buy something, right? Unless you got that money, I doubt you have a spectral in your bank. I'm sitting at like a 5.7 bill bank. I haven't had a spectral in that bitch in forever. Because you don't have a spectral in your bank unless you're doing Cerberus. But if Cerberus pops up on the board, spectral's 50 mil. You got a 60 mil cash tag, buy a spectral, take it to Cerb, right? You don't want to do Cerb because you're one of the few people on your team with 99 Slayer, so that means you can do Hydra, right? So you got to go to Hydra, and you got a 60 mil cash stack. Somebody's got to do Cerb. And if that somebody doesn't have a spectral, buy him a spectral, loan him the spectral for the trip. It ain't about the money, Spider-Man. It's about getting the tiles done, right? As a main in the end game, that is what I have found to be the most helpful, is to just have a shitload of money. That's what I'm going to do to prepare. If I can get the quiver, that'd be awesome. If I don't get the quiver, I'm not going to be too gutted about it. You know, I might do some AFK bullshit. Now that I'm free of the fire making grind, I might do some AFK bullshit to maybe toss something in the chest for Michael. I'm also out of Karambwans. I have like 200 left. Oof. So I got to do something. Maybe I'll do a little bit of fishing in my AFK time when I'm at Hydra. But I'm here to make money. Good money makers these days. Vorkath ain't too bad. Hydra tasks ain't too bad. Best money in the game right now, I'm pretty sure, is Nex. Get the boys together. Run some 5-mans. Run some 6-mans. Crank out the EHB before bingo. Get some Nex money. Fear and Mima ran some duos earlier. Doesn't even look that bad. Kills kind of take long, but you get a duo, you get a trio split, duo split, whatever it is. I got a trio van braces earlier. Trio van braces, that was like 28 mil a person. That's a pretty solid nest egg to sit on or to contribute.
It was like 6 minutes of work too, so that's not even bad for that kill.
When you're at the point where, like, you have all 3 mega rares, you have all the end game gear, you know, like for me, my next big upgrades are Torva and Ancestral. So like 800 mil or 300 mil. If you're sitting on that, you don't need to worry about getting a big best and slot upgrade. If you're sitting somewhere in the middle, if you're like, I don't know, early end game, maybe you have 1 mega rare, or maybe not. Maybe you have like a clean 1 bill bank. Also, having money is good.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a main account, having supplies is good. Now, if you're a main account, you only have an 800 mil bank, don't buy 3 blood shards. That is so much money that you are never going to get back. Buy supply. You get a drop, buy some supply. You're at early end game main, see if somebody will take you on their next team. See if somebody will take you to top. If you are not at the point where you're like, oh, I know everything about this game, that like Theater of Blood is kind of a snooze fest. Theater of Blood is never a snooze fest. You just get so good at it that you can turn your brain off. It's great. Tob is the best raid in the game. Anyways, if you're not there yet, learn some content. Up your draft stock, baby. Learn some content. Now is the perfect time to do learner content. If you're like, I don't want to look like an idiot before a bingo, look like an idiot before. I don't know what to tell you. Look like an idiot before bingo. Because if you are sending learner raids with people who are captaining, they already know you. You know how much easier it is to draft somebody you know versus somebody you've never heard of before?
Yeah.
Like, that's why the first probably like 10 rounds in these bingos are so cutthroat in the draft. Because we know everybody. And we want We want like every captain wants specific people, which is another perk to sign up for a captain. If you want to play with your friends, best way to do that is to sign up as a captain
And draft them.
right? And draft them, right? Last year, I think in the fall, we had I don't know if you guys listened to the Wilderness podcast. We had Trey Blob. He was a captain.
Mm-hmm.
And he had like a team full of Wilderness guys. We didn't know who any of them were. We weren't going to take them. You know, it was just a Wilderness podcast guys. I've been on teams in other Discords before where it's like all TNL people. I've also been on teams where there was a TNL team and I wasn't a part of it.
Oh, no.
Which I thought was hysterical. They didn't win though, so I didn't feel too bad. But yeah, if you're like, oh, I really want to play with my friends, I hope I get drafted to a good team, be a captain. Draft your own friends. That's, I don't know, more incentive to be a captain. If you're a main account, make money this week. If you're a main account who does not know everything about the game, learn content. If you're a main account who has a KC logged everywhere and knows everything about the game, make even more money than you think you need to.
Or,
you know?
And this is like, I'm going to just say the complete opposite just because I think it needs to be said. Don't play the game so you don't get burned out.
Also, not a bad shot.
Yeah.
Don't
Play
bust
another
your
game.
balls. Yeah. Now's a good time to play other games too.
Because generally people go, I mean, we've had people put like 90-hour weeks for just the week of bingo. So
Bro, when players crack off the 45 hours in EHB alone, that shit's
yeah. So like if you say you're taking off work, maybe you don't have a spouse, no kids, just you're taking off work, 10 to 12 hours a day is not crazy when it's bingo. So, doing 100-hour week seems kind of crazy, but like that's a lot of RuneScape. So if that's your plan, you're like, well, I'm taking off work. I'm not gonna shower. We got the meals prepped. Bucket's right next to my PC. Like, just don't play RuneScape, please.
the raid bucket.
The raid bucket.
Man, that does all right. I'm switching to my summer schedule very soon. Which, thank God, I'm back on only Mondays and Thursdays in office, like I was last summer.
Nice.
Oh, I'm so excited. I get so much more remote time in the summer. I have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday taken off. I'm considering only taking Thursday, Friday off, saving my vacation days, and just strategically scheduling my clients.
Ooh.
Because it's not dishonest to not oh, you're lying about your schedule. No, I'm reducing my caseload anyways because I love my job. I would do my job for free. Give me my job for free at 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
I'll do it for the rest of my life. I love my job. I don't want to do it as much in the summertime. If you're a student right now at any level of study, graduate, undergraduate, if you're an 18-year-old high school student, because you should not be in this Discord if you're under the age of 18. So help me God. Regardless of
you can
what
listen
level
to
you're
the podcast
in
if
school,
you're not 18.
you can listen to the podcast. I just don't want to hear about it in the Discord. You better not be
Don't
under
join
the
the
age
Discord.
of 18 in this Discord. Don't join the Discord. If you're in the Discord, leave. You're under the age of 18. Come back when you're 18. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Get out. But no, regardless of what point of study you're in, it's good to take a break in the summer. Please take a break in the summer. And if that means not doing therapy and not showing up to my office to talk about super traumatic shit all the time, that's fine. I'm not going to be mad at you. Take a break. We can resume in the fall. So my caseload's already going to be dwindling. And if that means I don't have enough clients to fill my Wednesday day, then I just work remote and I'm on crisis duty. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see where I'm at. I'm definitely taking time off, but I don't know.
Speaking of time off, I start my job on the 28th, which is a week before bingo.
Ooh.
So I don't know. I haven't talked to the HR person about prior commitments, but ideally I am able to take at least Thursday, Friday off. Best case scenario is I'm able to take Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off and just have a 5 not even like a 5-day weekend, because a 4-day weekend essentially, because we're ending on Saturday. I don't think I can get the whole week off with it being literally my second week of training. It doesn't seem reasonable. So fingers crossed I can get them to give me some time off, potentially Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If at the very least I'm going to like on my knees beg for Thursday and Friday off. Cause yeah, like earlier in the week would be fun. Maybe like a Monday, Tuesday. But generally in the corporate world, Mondays and Tuesdays are some of the busier times. And so having a later in the week request might be more palatable. Don't know. I'm excited for my job though.
I'm excited for your job too.
Bingo will be a blast whether or not I get off or not, because like I'll still have the evenings to play. I'll still have time to do it. It just won't be 100-hour week. I've never done 100 hours in a week for playing RuneScape, but to that extent, it won't be like I can play, 10 hours a day while my son is at daycare.
Yeah. Well,
we've been yapping, brother.
We have been yapping. I think that about sums it up. We've been yapping for a little while. We're going to go to break, and then we're going to come back with more community section stuff. And my lighting is going to be different because my mouse is going to die, and I need to plug my mouse in, or else that's not going to be a productive second half of the episode. So my lighting is going to change when we come back from commercial, but you don't have to worry about that right now, because the only thing you have to worry about right now is enjoying this presumably reused commercial and hanging out for a minute. We'll be back after this. Why, hello there, adventurer. My name's Razlo, and I've traveled all over this here continent collecting treasures that I think you.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you an important safety announcement. Attention. This is a message from the Gillenor Protection Agency. Do not fall asleep. A supernatural anomaly has escaped from its containment site in eastern Mauritania. It is incredibly hostile and will strike if given the opportunity. It has been known to attack its victims through their dreams, causing intense and violent sleepwalking that often results in the victim's death. Do not fall asleep. Over 1,200 individuals have been reported missing since the breach, and that number is estimated to increase exponentially over the coming days. Sleepwalkers have been reported in Canifis and in the northern coast of Mauritania, heading towards Port Fazematis. If you are within the immediate vicinity of the breach, please seek shelter and await further instructions. Do not fall asleep. The Gillenor Protection Agency thanks you for your cooperation. Do not fall asleep. You will now be returned to your regularly scheduled broadcast.
So why don't you come on down and see for yourself? I promise you won't be disappointed. Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial, because I know that I sure did. Remember how I said my lighting was going to change? My mouse was dead. I only have 2 available outlets in the front of my PC. All the ones in my back are filled. Somebody said, hey, why don't you plug it into a wall outlet? That's a great idea. Maybe next time. But that's not important, though. Nobody cares about that. What we do care about are the patrons. The people who give us their blood, sweat, and tears in the form of US dollar equivalent amounts every month. So these are the people that keep the show alive and well. Shout out to the Gnome Child tier, and shout out to the Wise Old Man tier, who's currently on screen right now. We don't have any new patrons. No new patrons this week. But the Wise Old Men, you know them, you love them. Yeah, Wise Old Men, you guys are great. You get access to our recording booth chat, which is how people have been heckling us all night long. And it's been always a good time. But we're going to shout out our tiers that get shouted out. It's shout out tier time. Kicking us off in the King Black Dragon tier, we have 6 Dicks Insider. I'm just going to fucking say it. I'm not going to spread it out. Brooke 70, my dad. Hi, Dad. What a horrible follow-up to the Six Dicks Insider bit. Cloud Kicker, Dicky Bird, Dr. Muffin PhD, Elite Oreo Dunker, Jax GIM, JX Riot, Lil Drakey, our third favorite Patreon supporter Ralph, Run Metal 15, Rylithian, Sparky Life, The Big G Jordy, and War Patroning. I love you guys. That's the long and short of it. I love you guys. Yeah, I don't know how else to put that. So I'm not going to put it any other way. We love you guys. And yeah, that's how we're going to do it. Moving on over to the Jad tier. These are the folks that support us at the highest tier. I am hopeful that we have new shirts going out soon. Michael and I cooked up some designs on the way back from RuneFest, and I'm hopeful at least one of them has made it out to some people at this point. So fingers crossed, let us know if the shirts are coming. If not, if for some reason you got the same shirt twice, hopefully that doesn't happen. We'll have to figure out some way around that because, yeah, we want you guys to have our cool new merch. But the folks in the Jad tier are as follows. No More Milk, Captain Crash, Flood Day, Kyrandia, Mithril Fork, Oxie's Satanic Waifu 666, Uwu, Petite River, the S tier Deviled Egg, and Walaznik. You guys are fantastic. We love you too. I don't know how to quantify love into words beyond that because what is the description of love that you need much more than that? Love can be as grand as wanting to give you the entire universe. Love can be as grand as looking at a clear night sky and saying, no, it is still not good enough because it is not them. But love can also be doing the dishes. Love can also be getting you your favorite snack because they were just at the gas station. Love can be such a wide spectrum. There's no way to quantify it like that in this short segment of the episode. We love you too, Jad tier. If you would like to be loved by us, pay us money. God, what a wonderful transition. I'm a therapist, by the way. Head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/Xpwaste. If you guys would like to contribute, you can contribute for as little as free. Follow the Patreon. I don't care. Follow us on all our platforms. Doesn't make us nearly as much money, but on Patreon, you can support for as little as $1 a month. Shout out to the Gnome Child tier. We've been shouting out the Gnome Child tier a lot because you guys are great. Yeah, go check that out. You get access to a bunch of cool new stuff. Is the extra episode? Is the Patreon stream tomorrow?
Yeah.
The Patreon stream is tomorrow if you want to join the Party Pete tier. Just when you thought the Party Pete's weren't going to get shouted out. The Patreon stream is tomorrow. Michael and I literally never know what we're doing. We know that we are going to drink and we know that we are going to play a video game. And other than that, we really don't know. Show up, hang out, and have a good time. That, though, is going to end the Patreon section of the show. I'm going to send it over to Michael for the community question. We managed to get Achievement of the Week done while Michael was tickling the missus and he was saying goodnight to everybody. So Achievement of the Week is done. So I'm just going to sit back and hang out while Michael does a community question.
Taking it over now for the community question. Last week, we asked you guys if you could take the RuneScape genre, so whether that's the themes, lore, graphics, I don't care, anything about RuneScape, maybe just the name, and translate it to another genre, what would it be? So starting out on Spotify, we've got a couple of answers to go through. Windstram says, easily, I would love to see a RuneScape Soulsborne. Imagining encounters such as Zulrah, Vorkath, God Wars, or any of the raids from that perspective gets my juices flowing. We even have a Soulsborne staple, Poison Swamp. 2, in fact. I've never played a Soulsborne game. I'm assuming that's like Elden Ring, something like that.
Elden Ring, Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne.
Bro, I think I need to do it.
There's apparently a new one coming out for the Switch that people are calling like Bloodborne 2 or the Switch 2. So From Software fans are eating good.
Okay.
I think, is Sekiro from Software? Does anyone know if Sekiro is from Software? Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, is that from Software?
You know,
I don't know.
don't know.
But that's another Souls-esque game. Oh yeah, it is. Look at that. They're good games. I've only played Jedi Fallen Order and Jedi Survivor as the closest Souls-like games ever that I've played. I don't know specifically, but I've heard those games are pretty busting.
Tiki's randomly asking if we're going to do another Xpwaste meetup. I don't know what the rabbit trail is looking like over there in the recording booth, but it's interesting. Anyway, moving on now. Fizzman15 says, I would love to see OSRS as a first-person shooter kind of game, even if it's just to see the game from the perspective of your character. Okay. Rummy Tumble says, I'd play the heck out of a God Wars-based RTS. Real-time strategy game?
That would be
kind
fun
of
as
cool.
shit. That'd be
Ooh.
fun as shit. Again, I have the most experience with RTS I've played Age of Empires 2. I've played a little Age of Mythology. I've played a shitload of Halo Wars. Oh my God. That would be so much fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have like
RuneScape gods. Oh my
you
God.
have your
that'd be so much
minions,
fun.
you have your generals, you could have the gods come in. They would be dude, that would be interesting. If there's
imagine the leader powers that these bosses could have. God, that'd be fantastic.
I'd be down for that. Jagex, if you're listening, we want it. But moving on to the next one here, J. Phil says, picture Varrock as a grimy 1940s style city. You're a private eye investigating, trying to solve mysteries involving the White Knights, shady Zamorakian cults, and corrupt politicians. Dialogue heavy, full of deception and plot twists. Oh, and this is from Where's Draenor? Where Draenor in game. This is RSN. Thank you, Where Draenor. Yeah, honestly, anything that's like taking the mundane aspects of Gielinor. So instead of it's a fantastical thing where you're fighting the gods and like you're saving all of these people, you're just like a regular guy in Varrock, and you get to interact on what a day-to-day looks like in Varrock. Maybe, like he said, like you're a private eye and you're trying to solve mysteries. That'd be cool. And like you never really interact with the other aspects of the world. Next up, though, we have Xpwaste. They say, long-time lurker. I would say either Pokemon or Elden Ring.
What would like Pokescape?
Yeah.
I know they've been making the pixel Pokescape for a while. That'd be kind of cracked.
Okay.
That'd be fun. It'd be weird. Dr. Muffin in the recording booth chat says VR OSRS would be insane. VR OSRS technically already kind of exists. I don't know in what context or what game you have to play to get there, but I've seen videos of VR old school. There's a video out there somewhere of some guy doing Zuck in VR.
Huh.
But like he's being attacked by like zombies or something while doing it.
Well, the last one we have here on Spotify is from Swole. He said agility courses, but in the form of Subway Surfers, and the security guard is a PKer.
Huh.
Okay.
That'd be pretty good.
Okay. Moving on over to our YouTube replies. That was it on Spotify. We asked you guys the same question. If you could take the RuneScape genre and translate it to another genre, what would it be? Starting out, Spencer says 3D platform agility game. So there you go, 3D platform agility game. I'm imagining like a 3D Mario. I don't know what a platformer is, so maybe I'm wildly off base with this, but like a side scroller Mario type game, but it's 3D and like you're wearing graceful and doing crazy agility shortcuts.
I think when I hear platformer, there are games I play that have aspects of platformer stuff to them. Like I remember the old Spyro games used to have some platforming aspects to them. The game that comes to mind when I think first person or 3D platformer is Mirror's Edge. I never played Mirror's Edge, but Mirror's Edge for agility courses, like literally running on rooftops, would be cool as hell.
I'm way off on what I just Googled imaged it. I'm way off on what a 3D platformer is, and this looks like way more.
What came
fun.
up when you typed up 3D platformer? Ratchet and Clank, Banjo Kazooie.
Yeah.
Those are 3D platformers. Yeah. I knew I wasn't insane. I'm like, Spyro has some 3D platforming elements to it, right?
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't
Cool.
knew it wasn't wild there.
Honestly, that would be a lot better than what I was thinking. But moving on to the next one, Adobe Cult says Stardew Valley style life simulator / dating sim. You could even base it on Miscellanea for shits and giggles.
The OSRS, I mean, okay, I have to address it. OSRS Stardew would go insane.
Yes, it would.
That would be so much fun.
A lot of the stuff you do in game could translate very well to Stardew Valley.
OSRS dating simulator? Are you fucking kidding me though? That would be the stupidest and the funnest $10 purchase I would ever make on Steam. I don't care. I want it. OSRS dating sim.
You're making Dragon Wild. Surely you can make a 2D dating sim, Jagex. Come on.
Anyway, next up, Dinosaur says open world single player RPG. Think Oblivion, Fallout, Cyberpunk, etc. My wife loves the world, the lore, and the stories of RuneScape, but she cannot dedicate the time that the rest of us can to RuneScape as an MMO. She dropped OSRS back in 2020 and basically never looked back. So I feel like that genre would totally work within the world of RuneScape. Well, dude, you're in luck. We're getting something close to it, but not quite like a single player open world. But I feel like Dragon Wild is going to be the closest we'll have for a while to this type of game.
The OSRS quest lines in like a Skyrim style game.
Okay.
I think that's literally what they suggested. But yes, go do that.
Yeah. Next up, Last Sky Samurai says, let's be real. I would just take OSRS, take its existing game engine, its current code base, and just recreate the original game from scratch. Call it OSRS 2. Start fresh and recreating the original, referencing all OSRS lore and world building, but reimagine every single aspect of the game from a design standpoint. We don't have to be stuck in 2004 or 07 design anymore. Fix it up in the design, start off things like a clean world grid, 64 by 2032 chunks for a total of 2. That's a lot of words. I'm realizing now, I apologize. I expanded your comment. It's like at least 3 paragraphs. So, Last Sky Samurai, thank you for answering the question. I don't have time to read all of this on the podcast. If you guys want to read through his answer, because it looks like it's going to be a good time. He goes into very, very rich detail here. Go to YouTube on the episode called This Week in Old School RuneScape and scroll down to the pinned comment and look at Last Sky Samurai's post, because again, this looks rich and it doesn't look like it was written by AI. But we are moving on to the next one here. Cool Chuck Corey says, I would make a Worms style game and call it Anarchists or something. What is Worms?
It's like tanks. You throw shit at each other.
Oh, that's fun. But what would you shoot? I don't know. Worms?
What wouldn't you shoot? You know how fun it would be to get it. You get the lobster launcher special attack. You hit him with the, and then you like huge like wave of sunlight shows up and just like erases a corner of the map.
Cool.
You know?
Actually cool.
Or a wave of darkness, I guess, because it's a shadow. I don't know.
I kind of like it. It makes me remember that we played Shell Shock for a long time. Is that what you're...
That's like, yep, Shell
Shell
Shock.
Shock.
Tanks, Shell Shock, it's all this, but you know, Bowman. Who remembered that game? Bowman?
The panda
Is that
with
it?
the panda? Panda
No,
bow?
it's the Addicting Games.
Oh.
Addicting Games Bowman. Yeah. Bowman 2. You literally just fucking shot at each other the whole time. Like that.
Good work. Next up, though, Melvin Man says, I would absolutely love to see Telltale Games make a high-quality, narrative-focused game based on one of our favorite quest alliance in RuneScape. The player's choice would affect the outcome of future events, allowing players to personalize their own versions of RuneScape's stories. That'd
be good.
There's so much deep lore in just the most like mundane and simple quests that could eventually lead to different quests being developed like it has already happened in our game. It's happened a lot in RuneScape 3. Just like simple things. Like, for example, the cook's assistant, one of the first quests you do. Eventually, it leads to Barrow's gloves in some roundabout way. So, like, something as mundane as you just grabbed some cake supplies was one of the end game quests back in like 2004, 2005. Can't remember when that came out. But yeah, it's something like that. Sounds neat. Shinkiro says, Souls-like, imagine Elden Ring graphics, but it's OSRS. Chef's kiss. We have a couple more here on YouTube. White Cod says, OSRS rogues-like. You get plopped into a random area, whether it's Misthalin, Wilderness, Ronwin, with nothing but an axe, a pickaxe, a knife, and a prayer. Mobs would drop supplies for crafting armor and weapons, and as you progress through the region, you make a run across some mini-bosses, say Obor, Crazy Ark, Killer Bunny, that would drop perks or weapon upgrades. Defeating these mini-bosses will open up more of the area, and eventually you come to the region's final boss, Royal Titans, KBD, Zulrah, etc. Oh wait, that's just dungeoneering. Oops.
Yeah, but that's way more fun.
Yeah, I think that's... If it was randomized where you could have different like combinations, but it's way more, I don't know, it's way more expansive than just you're in a dungeon and you have like randomly generated rooms that you're going through. But yeah, really it's just like the idea of dungeoneering. Anyway, the last one here on YouTube is from Otis, and he says OSRS, but it's post-apocalyptic. The wise old man set off a nuke that allowed all the UIMs and players who swore to play UIM from that moment to take a shelter before the big drop. His motive was because he was tired of cleaning out everyone's banks. Justified if you ask me. Love Otis so much. That guy's amazing. The brain of Otis is amazing.
UIM RuneScape apocalyptic survival. Well, like think about the implications of a post-apocalyptic RuneScape, right? Like literally, there are no more barriers to things anymore. Mountains have collapsed, rivers have dried up. Just like think about what happens. Like there's some like catastrophic shit that happens if the apocalypse and nobody is there to contain anything. West Arty still probably looks the same. Not gonna lie. That shit's probably the same. We have a huge... I'm in Varlamore right now, so it's the first place that I looked at on the map. We have a massive problem in Varlamore because assuming nothing has been done to keep anything together, the Stranglewood can just do whatever on the continent of Zaya. And the only thing that I would wager to bet might stand in the way of that is Soul and the things in the Colosseum. So you have to have Soul potentially partnered with the Huaycodal to try to stop the menace that is the Stranglewood, that Eldritch horror. Over on Karamja, nothing's keeping Zuck in place anymore. Zuck's just like out. That's not good. Just like out of the Karamja volcano. Everything else that is like contained in its shit, Zalcano is free. Skatizo is free. The God Wars dungeon is open to everybody. All 5 of them fuckers can just do whatever they want. All the DT2 bosses are presumably not contained anymore. That sounds terrible. What happened to the Theater of Blood? Are they just around still? You know, hopefully TOA just got totally dusted off the side of the map.
In this scenario, if it's a nuke, there's no guarantee that any of these people survived. Even bosses, as hardy as they are. Like, what if the nuke took out Huaycodal?
But that makes such a good... that makes such a good story, Michael.
I know it's a good story.
That makes such a good fucking story. You build all of this hype because you have to go defeat the menace of Karamja, Tezcalzuk. You build all this hype and you go into the volcano and it's just like a corpse. A skeleton. He was not spared from the nuke. And he's fucking dead. You know how much... that's such a good story right there.
Hey, you should write a D&D campaign and let me play it.
Love to.
That's you as the DM.
One day.
Yeah, that's gonna do it for community question. Thank you so much for answering the question that we had last episode. If you want to answer this week's question, it will be
what are you doing to prepare for bingo? What are you doing to prepare for Springo 2025?
Thank you, Oxie. It's a question we ask often around bingo season, but I think it's relevant, and I'd like to hear what you guys have, cooked up, because maybe it's the same thing that you answered the last time we asked, but maybe it's different. Maybe your account's in a different place. Maybe you don't play in TNL bingos and your prep looks way different. Maybe you've never played in a bingo and you want to theory craft what prep could look like. So if that's the case, maybe take some time and really think, like, how could you prep your account if this is your first ever bingo? Like, what are you going to be doing strategically to prepare yourself for the competition? So you can answer that in the comment section on Spotify or under the pinned comment of this YouTube video. Going to throw it on over now to my favorite co-host in all of the world, Oxie M. I was going to say Sparry, but he's not here, so Oxie will do. But,
Sparry, we miss you, please.
Sparry,
Bird,
come
please.
back.
Gothic Rest, please.
Don't leave us.
Gothic Rest, please.
But it is going to be Oxie this time, as, ranking number 1 favorite host of all time for the Achievement of the Week.
Yes, it is Achievement of the Week time. We're closing in on the end of the episode, and it's Achievement of the Week time. We're kicking things off in the miscellaneous category. We have 3 quest capes. We have Joffrico and the Meat Wagon, who both earned their quest cape for the first time. And apparently Cloudwind, who also got his quest cape for the first time. I don't know if that's real. It's really hard for me to look at a player with the PVM prowess of Cloudwind, who's literally wearing fucking Blood Torva in the photo, when the picture says, my first ever quest cape. Part of me believes it. Another part of me is like, there's no way. There's no way that's his first ever quest cape. Cloud, let me know. Because I don't. Congratulations to the 3 of you nonetheless. Moving on over to the skilling achievements category this week. Tiki told me he saw like 10 99s yesterday. But we don't have that many on here. So if you guys got a 99, you're like, I didn't get shouted out. You got to post it in levels and achievements chat, right? Kicking us off, we have Plasmatron, who achieved 99 cooking. My boy Jack, who's going to end up on my team. Sorry, guys. He got 99 defense. B Daddy Casper achieved 99 thieving. Alpha Hotel Quebec achieved 99 firemaking and 99 range. P5HT achieved 99 wood cutting. I feel bad still not knowing how to pronounce that name. He's going to punch me in the face if he ever P5.
Pushed. Oh, it's the 5 is supposed to be an S, so it's pushed.
You sure?
Yeah, I've talked to him. P5HT.
Pushed.
Pushed.
Pushed. Pushed. Pushed. You had a 99 wood cutting. Yikes. Rad 2H Sword achieved 99 construction, and Morpha achieved 99 strength during the episode. We do have another skilling achievement, one that tends to stand above all the rest. Orange Zest maxed their account. They achieved 99 agility, and they maxed their account. You could finally play the game, dog. 99 everything. You don't ever have to go back to Wintertodt. You don't ever have to go back to Motherlode Mine. You don't ever have to go back to rune crafting. You can do whatever the hell you want. Congratulations. Moving on down to the combat category this week. We do have a couple of firsts. Both Dr. Muffin and Iron Burps killed Zulrah for the first time, whereas Indalo killed the Corrupt Gauntlet for the first time. Tummy Rumbles or Rummy Tumbles, I feel like I mistyped that on my thing. Rummy Tumbles achieved the Medium Combat Achievement Diaries. Twin Rova got Blorva, which I first looked at that and thought, I can't believe he didn't have Blorva. He's an Iron Man. No shit, he didn't have Blorva. But he got it. So Twin Rova, congratulations on getting your Ancient Blood Ornament kit. I know you've said you've been taking a little while for that one, but hell yeah, man. That's cool as hell to see an Iron Man with Blood Torva. And then finally, the achievement that conquers all the rest in the combat section of Achievement of the Week. Both Babtino and D. Falconer are officially gamers. And they both achieved their Infernal Cape this week. Congratulations to you guys. I say it every week. There's no pressure like it. I promise you that. There are things that are harder than the Inferno, I think. Like I would wager the Soul fight is harder than the Zuck fight. As a whole, Blood Torva is probably more difficult mechanically than the Inferno. There are a lot of things that are harder to a Fang kit is harder to do mechanically than the Inferno. There is no pressure like the Inferno. And you guys have beat it. You guys never have to have that same kind of pressure again. Shit's actually really fun on task. So consider it. Consider doing it on task. That's Achievement of the Week this week. Congratulations to everyone who achieved something awesome. If you want to tell us about the awesome things that you are doing, head on over to our Discord, discord.gg/OSRSTNL. Post about it in the Levels and Achievements chat. We say it every week. We don't care what the achievement is. And we mean that. We really don't care what the achievement is. People were posting that, like, they got 1,000 collection logs. I think it's Ian in the Discord, or Lan. It's Ian or Lan. I'm not sure if it's a capital I or a small L. You know who you are. You get 1,000 clogs this week, right? We tend not to shout that out super often. People are cranking out skills for base 90s. People are finishing Soul Reaper axes after thousands of KC at these bosses. Post, if you think it's an achievement, post about it, because people in our community love to see it, because we do have objectively the best RuneScape community in the world. And if you think to yourself, Oxie, it's 12:07 a.m. on a Monday morning. Nobody is there hanging out. Wrong, motherfucker. We do have a group of Sunday Raiders, and church is in session. People are getting ready to go to Callisto. We have objectively the best RuneScape Discord in the world. Come hang out. All right. Michael sent me something. Ooh. So normally this is the part of the episode where I say, Michael, my friend, do you have a fun question for us? But I just received an @ message in the recording booth chat. And we're going to play that message for you guys right now.
If you could add one feature to RuneLight that you think would greatly improve the quality of the gameplay, what would you add?
My mind immediately goes to like plugin, but I don't think it would be a plugin. A feature that I would like is for the ability. Oh frick! This goes back to plugins. Wait, is Loot Tracker? That's a built-in.
Yeah,
you can't get rid of Loot Tracker.
It is a plugin.
Okay, but it's
you can turn it off.
I don't. Can you?
Mm-hmm.
Loot Logger, Loot Lookup, Loot Tracker. Oh yeah, you can. Well, this is a hard one for me because when I think feature, like my mind immediately goes to like plugins or built-in plugins because I want Loot Tracker to be able to update across different PC logins. So like I have my gaming PC and my gaming laptop. I don't know if they sync, but if I get stuff on
Michael, are you signed into RuneLight?
Yeah. Does it sync? I guess it might sync when I log out and log back, or like when I close my client, close and open it up again.
For what?
For loot.
For loot?
Yeah.
It syncs.
Does it? Okay. Well, you do yours because I have to think.
I mean, the meme one that comes to mind is just like delete the Tombs of a Masket.
As a
like
it's
still, like the items are still there. Yeah, as a RuneLight, just like TOA, just like replace the black squares that were on the map. Just get rid of TOA.
Maybe
as a RuneLight
the RuneLight feature
that's
caves in the pyramid and you can't even enter it.
Yeah, so you see, if you go to your map right now, you see that black square by Menethos, just like
extend it,
transverse that onto the other half.
Oh
like give us Menethos and just delete TOA. Like that's a RuneLight plugin I would love right there, just for laughs. But like something for me that I think would help, right? Like almost this particularly bothers me when I look at people streaming in Discord. Their shit looks so HD. Their shit looks so smooth. And I can't for the life of me figure out why mine doesn't feel like it looks like that. So what I would like is for RuneLight to, I don't know if this is too invasive, but like if RuneLight could figure out the specs of my computer and tell me like the max possible shit that I can get. Because like I have a 2070 Super. It's RuneScape for fuck's sake. Ideally, the GPU plugin, if it could tell me what the ideal settings are, because right now it kind of feels like taxes, where it's like Figure it out. What? Like, is it something I'm doing wrong with my monitor? Is my GPU setting not correct? I think that might, from a computer standpoint, that might be a little too invasive for RuneLite to check the hardware of your PC. Maybe it's not. I don't know computers. I talk on one. I don't fix them. I don't know. That's what comes to mind for me. If we really wanted to get granular on like RuneLite features that aren't plugins, this again, it's the coaching mindset. I have my clinic again today. I'm going to have my clinic for the next couple of weeks. Give us a RuneScape PVM coach. Give us a RuneScape, either a person who's willing to do this, preferably, or like a bot that could help you analyze where you are losing ticks in encounters. That would like show you where to clean things up, right? Like your DPS could theoretically increase by this amount if you stop losing ticks at this part of the fight, right? Your time could be cut down by this amount if you attack the boss more frequently during this phase of the fight, right? And I think that could be applicable on the high level because it could really help with speed run times. You know, those built-in guides, which is another thing that could factor in, which could be pretty cool, but like, especially for the low level, like, hey, you're losing a lot of ticks when you transition from one side of the Zulrah arena to the other. Try attacking Zulrah when you run from the west to the east side. See how much that speeds up your kills. Just for laughs, right? Like you're losing a lot of ticks when you're eating constantly in Hunlif, or you're not attacking while you're moving at the gauntlet fight. Let's see how much it increases then. Another factor that could be cool for RuneLite, like they have I know base RuneScape has a wiki sync, but like if there was either a plugin or a feature native to RuneLite where like you could look at a piece of content and get a guide for it. Like, yes, I know that I could wiki look up Leviathan and it would take me to the strategy page. The strategy page isn't going to tell me how to get the GM time. Now, on the wiki, there are guides to the GM time. If I look up OSRS Levy GM time, it is the Leviathan Speedrunner task is on there. And it has the strategy. To make time, it's useful to aim for at least 4 to 5 ruby procs, switch into full crystal armor with a Bofa at 45% health, and switch back to Missouri at 20% using a web weaver bow special attack, and then switch to a toxic blowpipe to finish off the kill. Use of spellbook swap for thralls and vengeance, in addition to the what's it called? The Leviathan only takes recoil damage from its melee attack, meaning the player must stand in melee distance and wait for the bite attack to trigger the recoil effect. So there are guides for that, but maybe like a plugin or a functionality that's like, hey, you keep getting just shy of the GM time. Would you like to be linked to the wiki? Or like give an option for that, like wiki links or like good video guides. Those are things that come to my mind of like, how do we help improve players' performance within the game? It's Coach Oxie's thoughts.
Yeah. I've thought of one. I like yours. It's just basically like things that the game should be doing on some sort of scale to help new players or even players who may not know.
Yeah. Like, I don't want it to be too hand-holdy. Like, I almost want it to be used as a tool for like when you take private lessons in fencing as a real life example. When you first start private lessons, the coach is going to nitpick the dog shit out of your form. And the coach is going to make sure you're doing it correct. You're going to, your footwork, your blade work for whatever weapon, you're going to be doing it correctly. When you get to the point where you've been taking private lessons for 3 years, the coach is just going to go and he's going to change tempo and he's going to mess with distance, and they're going to mess with the rhythm, and they're going to mess with the acceleration and the deceleration of attacks. And the sequences that they're going to hit you with, you already know how to do, right? That's kind of what I imagine for this. Like, not super hand-holdy for like if you don't want it, don't take it. But like, if you really want help getting better at the gauntlet, these are where you have to stop losing ticks. This is where you have to improve your prep. If you really want to get the sub 430 on the regular gauntlet, this is how you're going to get there. That type of functionality. I don't know if that's a real person's job or what. I don't know. What about you? What's your idea?
I would love for a built-in chat similar to Discord. I was just thinking about how the Discord overlay integrates Discord into RuneScape in an interesting way, where you can have your cameras displayed on your client. You can have who's talking in little bubbles, stuff that we normally would have like a second monitor for. So if you don't have a second monitor and you just play with your game, you can have things on the screen in your game window. But if there was like a section on the side panel where you could click a button, and maybe it links with Party Hub panel where you join a party, and then in that party you have like a VC, and you have text channels, and you have like a way to turn on your camera, you have a way to send screenshots, like just something basic, so that maybe if you didn't want to join a Discord but you wanted to hang out with people, RuneLight could have like chat, voice, video, streaming, all kind of built in to the client, and it's right there on the side. That would be very interesting. And maybe you can integrate in to other plugins, like I said, with the Party Hub panel, where it automatically shows you what their gear looks like, what stats, everything. It just shows you all of that. Maybe you can like ping other people on their world. You can see where your friends are on the world. You can already do that with the Party Hub plugin. So if you guys are in a party and you look at the world map, it shows you their little picture on the world map depending on where they are. It's kind of cool. But more integrated chat, and not like proximity chat. While I do think that would be kind of fun, it would get old after the first like 5 minutes, quite honestly. Like you go to the GE and somebody's just slurring it up. That would get old. So, we want to avoid that. So no proximity chat, but just something to where if you did want to avoid Discord for some reason, a more basic form of communication via RuneLight. And it doesn't even have to be as crazy as like voice video, like just some sort of chat room where you could have a dedicated space for your friends to send messages, but it's all within RuneLight. Because I think Discord has a stranglehold on us as a community. If you want to interact with people in this game, there's not a lot of ways to do that unless you're logged in. And so if you're offline playing RuneScape, Discord is probably what you're doing to interact with the rest of the community, at least in your community. Because there's not like a way that Jagex is formulated where clans can have their own chat hub on the website. So you don't log into runescape.com and join your clan's chat room. You go to Discord and you make your own.
Yeah.
But thank you,
That'd be
guys,
fun.
quite often, aka Sabaza, for that fun question. Always appreciated. I think we have like one more from him. So you guys, we'll just sprinkle them in there every so often. Those audio fun questions. But
hell
thank you
yeah,
for the fun question. Toss it back over to Oxie.
All right, you guys. It's that time of the episode. It's coming to a close. It's late. We're glad you guys have hung out with us. We're glad you guys hopefully are ready for bingo. Hopefully are considering signing up for a captain. And most importantly, we're glad you guys have been here for this kind of impromptu trip down memory lane. I don't know if Michael or I ever really expected the day would come where the bet would come to fruition and one of us would have to do the forfeit. I'm very glad it was Michael who won. Very glad it was Michael. It's way more entertaining that way. But yeah, I'm glad you guys were here with us for that. I've now gotten 99 fire making on the podcast twice. If I ever get a third account, I don't know, in like 10 years, we might have to do another podcast episode just so I can get another 99. I don't know. It's fun. So you guys are great. It's been a fun trip down memory lane. Get ready for bingo. All the links you'll ever need are I almost forgot to be a content creator there. All the links you'll ever need are in the description down below. We have a link tree, all our social medias that we're definitely active on. Haha. No, we're not. Go check us out there. That's all I got to say about it, you guys. You guys are awesome. Join the Discord. See you guys next week.
We won't.
Bye, everyone.
Happy Easter.
Oh, right. We won't see you next week. Happy Easter. We're not. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry. We're not going to see you guys next week. Have a good Easter.
See you after that.
I don't know. So yeah, we'll see you after that. Bye everyone.